Before I get into the list of good used trucks to buy, like why you clicked on this video, I want to just give you, from my perspective of doing auto repair the last 30 years, just kind of a few pointers that you should use every time you're going to buy a used vehicle. So if you only take one piece of advice throughout this whole video, my ask would be that you listened to this section. When you're selecting a used truck to buy, or actually any vehicle in that matter, the very first thing you should do, obviously research what you want, and then go drive them, and drive them a lot. So take them on an extended test drive, probably at least 20 miles, maybe a half hour, something like that. So drive them around town, hit stop and go traffic, get out on the freeway, get up to freeway speeds, see what you feel. Even if you don't know much about vehicles at all, see what you come up with. So drive it. If you're noticing weird smells, if you're hearing weird sounds, if you're seeing warning lights going off, those are all things that you need to relay to a shop like ours or wherever you go, to have them look into those things before you buy it. Just because a vehicle has something going on doesn't mean you shouldn't buy it, but you should factor that in. So the second most important thing to do, so once you've researched what you want to buy, test drive several of them, and then once you kind of eliminate it down to maybe one or two that you're really leaning towards buying, take it to a shop for a pre-purchase inspection. This is a real pain in the butt, I'm not gonna lie. You got to make arrangements with the seller to take their vehicle for, half the day. Maybe you got to make arrangements for them to drop it off to a shop. Maybe you go pick it up and drop it off. I get it, it's a pain in the butt, but I promise you, if you had seen what we've seen over the last 30 years of stuff that people have been trying to sell and pass off on other people, it's very important to have somebody check it. So you want to get it to a shop. You want to have them hook a scan tool up to it and check what's called a readiness monitors. So if a warning light comes on a vehicle 96 and newer, I can simply, or just about anybody out there can simply go in and turn that light off. What most people don't know is that light will stay off even if there's still a problem until the vehicle's driven through several cycles. So with shops like ours, we have more sophisticated scan tools that can actually check readiness monitors. Even the entry-level ones do. But if we have a vehicle come in and it has many readiness monitors that say not ready, we know somebody's recently reset that computer, whether the battery died or whether somebody purposely turned it off. That vehicle would need to be driven through at least a couple of cold starts and probably 20 to 30 miles to reset those monitors for that computer to tell us whether that warning light's going to come back. So that's a good hack to know. Check readiness monitors. The other thing shops should be checking for is, obviously they should be checking fluids. They should be checking maintenance records. We use Carfax here. They should be putting the vehicle on the rack, raising it up, checking tire measurements, brake measurements, checking for leaks. Very important to be checking to make sure it hasn't had some crazy poor bodywork or other repairs done. I'm not against buying a vehicle that's been in an accident. I'm not even against necessarily buying a vehicle with the salvage title if it's been repaired properly. But once a vehicle's been repaired kind of sketchy, which a good shop will know, those are the ones you want to stay away with. So you drive them plenty, take them to a shop you trust, have it checked. It's a pain in the butt, cost money, but I'm telling you, we've saved people thousands and thousands of dollars, I know, over the years by telling them, yes, this is a good one, or no, stay away from this thing, take it back. Outside of that, we always find something. Vehicles, a shop like mine will never run out of work to do. Used vehicles all need something, whether it's right now or in the near future. So the other thing that's been helpful for our clients when they bring them for this pre-purchase inspection, we send them off with a list of things that the vehicle needs, and then they can use that as a negotiating tool as well. So just because it needs something don't mean you don't buy it, but you should factor that in. You don't want to pay top dollar if it needs $2,000 worth of work. You'll want to negotiate that in. So do yourself a favor, do this old guy a favor, drive it a lot, have it checked out. Okay, enough about that. I'll stop giving you my dad moment there. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about that. I get asked these questions quite often. Hey, what car should I buy? What truck should I buy? And there's so many variables that make that a very difficult question to answer. So for sake of this video, I'm going to talk about vehicles in the 2010, so $20,000 to $30,000 trucks. So that's going to put us in the 2010s somewhere, probably mid 2010s. We're going to talk about things like Ford F-150s, the Chevy Silverados, the Ram 1500s, and then let's throw the Toyota Tundras and the Nissan Titans in there. So kind of that size truck. Now I could do 100 of these videos about all phases, all the way from $5,000 vehicles up to the $120,000 new diesels. But for sake of this video, half-ton four-wheel drives, 20 to 30,000, so 2010 to 2019-ish. Half-ton pickups. Okay, so let's get into this. So I'm going to rank these trucks in order of how I would rank them, based on reliability and amount of common repairs only. So I'm not going to judge them based off of features or how good they look or any of those things, which are a big factor. I believe that honestly, all these vehicles I'm going to talk about, they're a good enough vehicle to buy. So buy what you like. Everybody that knows me knows that I drive a Ford diesel truck, even though the #1 vehicle that probably makes us money in this shop is a Ford diesel truck. So buy what you like, but as far as those that are smart consumers that are just trying to get something reliable and minimize their risk, this is the advice I would give you. So coming in at dead last, which kills me because I'm a Ford guy, but it's this truck right here. So Ford F-150s, I would say, especially in the 2010s, probably going to be the most problematic vehicle you can buy as soon as they hit about 100,000 miles. The one behind me is here getting about $6,000 for the work. It's a buddy of mine's truck. He takes care of it, and it needs $6 grand now. We gave him a bid of upwards of $14,000 worth of stuff he could have done to this truck if he had that money burning a hole in his pocket. We're spending about $6 grand on it right now just to make it safe for the rest of the year, towing his trailers and stuff without causing any major problems. So the reason why I ranked the Ford F-150 last, it uses an EcoBoost engine. These things run great. This is my favorite truck to drive. They run amazing, but that EcoBoost engine, first started out as a 3.5 liter V6. Now they've moved it down to a 2.7. They're going to move even smaller. They use twin turbos on it. Anytime you have turbos, creates a lot of heat, a lot of pressure. These trucks have turbo failures, sometimes that lead to engine failures. They have coolant leaks at the turbo. They have exhaust leaks at the turbo. They have engine oil leaks. I had one of these trucks. As soon as it hit 40,000 miles, timing cover failed, leaking in my driveway. Replace it within a year. Had another seal leaking a lot of oil. So turbo problems, coolant leaks, oil leaks, a lot of timing chain problems. And so these are all expensive things. These are all thousands of dollar conversations when I have to have them with my clients. So, and on top of that, they've also got some front differential problems, some wheel hub problems, got some transmission problems. So I don't necessarily fault these trucks for needing to come to see me. That's how I make my living. But these things have to come in for some pretty major repairs quite often, you know. So beautiful truck to own, kind of risky, you know. Maybe get rid of them at about the 120,000 mile mark before those things happen. But that being said, I do a bunch of work for fleets that run these things 300,000 miles with minimal issues. So I'm definitely not here saying they're all terrible, but money makers right here behind me. I work on a lot of these trucks. Coming in next at second from the bottom of the list is the Ram 1500. So the Rams, they're a little bit more of a basic truck in my opinion. They've gotten a lot better. They're using the 5.7 liter Hemi in their half-ton platform. Transmissions are good. Engines have some failures. We're diagnosing misfires on the Rams quite often. We're diagnosing exhaust leaks on the Rams quite often. And the reason why I've put the Ram down towards the bottom is a lot of those things are expensive. We're having a lot of lifter failures in the Hemi. We're having a lot of camshaft failures. We're having a lot of cylinder head failures where the valves are failing. Those are all taking the complete upper half of the engine apart. You know, these are way more than a couple $1,000 fix, and it's quite common. And unfortunately, I'm seeing it with customers that mistreat them, and I'm also seeing it happen with my customers that bring them to me for oil services quite regularly and keep good fluids in them. So it's kind of unavoidable to, if you own one of the 2010s Ram, chances are it needs exhaust manifolds or it has new ones, and eventually you're probably going to have some misfire issues that end up being pretty expensive. So the top end of these engines are having a lot of issues. So that's the reason why Ram is right towards the bottom of the list, right above the F-150s. Coming in at third is the Chevy Silverado. So out of the domestic trucks, half tons, it has been for a while and still is, the Chevy Silverado is the most reliable domestic vehicle coming in right mid-pack. The Chevy Silverados, they do have some transmission issues, so we have had to put some transmissions in them. But engine-wise, very rare for us to have to tear the engines down. Yes, we've done some camshaft and lifters. Yes, we've done some transmissions, but the most common failure on a Chevy Silverado is fuel system. It has been for years. We do fuel pumps on them. We do some injector work here and there, but that's all minor stuff that you're going to have with every vehicle. Those aren't thousands of dollar repairs. So the reason why I put Chevy Silverado solid in the middle of the pack and leading the domestics is major engine and major transmission repairs as far as expense goes. Quite a bit less common on the Chevy Silverado. So the next two are tough because I don't see them as often. You know, here in Utah, you see Ford F-150s every third vehicle. You see Ram 1500s and Silverados all over the place. The Silverados used most of our fleets, a lot of Chevy trucks out on the road, but Ford F-150s, #1 selling vehicle, I think it's still in the US. I don't know, I'd have to look that up. But around here, you see an F-150 everywhere you look. So it's tough. So the next two, the vehicles that scored in the top two, Nissan Titan, Toyota Tundra, the Japanese makes, they're more reliable, even in their trucks. So next, let's talk about the Nissan Titan. Nissan Titan's a great truck. Most common failures on that Nissan Titan are exhaust manifolds. They are expensive because the exhaust manifolds on these Nissan Titans have the catalytic converters built into them. So it is common. I would probably say 1 out of 20 that we see. We don't have a lot of customers with them, but we still have a decent amount. Eventually need exhaust manifolds, which is catalytic converters all in one. Expensive repair, but lots of trucks don't need them. The other common thing, front differentials have some issues. They spin a side bearing inside of an aluminum case, and it needs a whole new front differential. That's somewhat common. Not as bad as it sounds. We can buy those differentials right from Nissan, and they're not too bad. So for those reasons of really only having two common problems, and they're not as rampant as some of the other issues on the other trucks, we got Nissan Titan coming in right at that #2 spot, right behind, guess what, Toyota Tundra. We're talking Honda and Toyota all the time, so I was kind of hoping that maybe one of the domestics would beat this one out. But once again, Toyota Tundra is the most reliable truck you can buy in that price range. So 2010s, four-wheel drive Toyota Tundra, we have a ton of clients with them, and they're just a solid truck. So the most common things going through my repair orders on the Toyota Tundras is all fairly minor stuff, like play in the steering, ends up needing a tie rod. Usually when somebody's put an oversized tire, a little bit of lift kit, put a little wear on. Some misfire issues where we've had to put coils or an injector in them, but very rare we have to tear into the engine. And I don't know as if I don't know as if I can remember the last time I sold a transmission on a Toyota Tundra or a whole differential. So overall, just a solid package. It is kind of a cheat because technically the Toyota Tundra could be classified as a 3/4 ton, so they're a little beefier than say the F-150 behind me. So maybe that's a little hack they have, but I consider what I would do with the Toyota Tundra is the same thing I'd do with a half-ton truck. You know, if I need to do something with 3/4 ton or bigger, I go buy, you know, something like that. So good job, Toyota, again, coming in at number one. Very rare for you to need expensive and frequent repairs on the Toyota Tundra. Now, I know I listed these trucks out in order of how I would rank them. Not a ton of data behind it, to be honest. This is just 30 years of my experience. I just spoke to you in the video as if one of my kids came and asked me, or one of my buddies came and asked me, or one of my favorite clients asked me. We've been doing this a long time, so we feel like we got some things that we know that's helpful to share. This is just based on my opinion and my experiences. And I'm here in Layton, Utah, so obviously there's different failures on different vehicles in different areas, but here where I'm at, this is the advice that I give out quite often. If you've already subscribed to our channel, thank you very much. If you haven't, please consider it. It sure helps us. Give us a like and hit us up in the comments. If you're local, feel free to reach out. We'll help you with whatever you need.